Who doesn't love playing as a gun-toting action hero? Power fantasies and non-stop action sequences are a staple of modern video games, but sometimes it's nice to solve problems with more than just bullets and fists. Consider that some of the best action games add a puzzle element, which requires you to think and strategize in ways you might not have expected. These games blend action and problem-solving skills in a neat little package. Commando's Origins works well as both a puzzle game and an action game, especially for players who like to think strategically in tough situations. Every mission is like a complicated puzzle where you have to study enemy locations, be aware of their sight lines, and learn their patrol routes to come up with a plan for sneaking in and taking them out. But the game isn't just about planning carefully, it's also about putting that plan into action and being rewarded for it. Command mode, which lets you line up specific actions for each of your commandos, is incredibly well executed. While the original Commandos titles go back 2 decades, Origins was one of the best games that came out in April 25. Uncharted 2: Among Thieves is an excellent game that combines puzzle-solving adventure with fast-paced action, making it a great choice for players who like both. The game requires players to explore detailed environments, often solving challenging puzzles to move forward. The game also stands out as an action-packed experience with exciting and varied fights. The levels are designed to let players use their climbing skills, offering different heights and areas to move through during battles. With its mix of clever puzzles, intense combat, and smart enemies, Uncharted 2: Among Thieves is just one of many great games that force you to think about how to solve puzzles while letting you be an action hero. The other Uncharted games take a similar approach and hold up well, especially the latter 2 PS4 entries. Batman Arkham Knight is an exciting action game that is especially great for people who enjoy solving puzzles. The game does an excellent job of incorporating environmental puzzles that force the player to use Batman's wide range of gadgets and the Batmobile's special features. For example, Batman can take control of the Batmobile from a distance to activate switches in places he cannot reach himself. The game also turns its predator combat encounters into strategic puzzles. In these sections, Batman often finds himself in a room filled with armed enemies and must devise a smart plan to take them down quietly and efficiently. The game pushes players to use detective vision to study enemy movements, how they communicate with each other, and weak points in the environment. Starfield is an ambitious role-playing game for players who enjoy solving puzzles as part of their adventure. This is best seen during the stealth missions. It's like going through a whole puzzle where you have to figure out different ways to move through areas without being seen or without making a big scene if you take an enemy out. This is also seen at different points as the player has to figure out how to get what they want without killing or threatening others. It's an interesting dynamic that makes players use their heads to get what they want. If you are going to play, make sure you get Dells 2 and 3 in Starfield for free. Agent 47's Hitman world of assassination combines slow, methodical stealth action with puzzle-like gameplay, making it a deeply satisfying experience. Each level is a detailed and dangerous space where the goal is to figure out the best way to take out your targets. Much of the game involves watching enemy movements, spotting chances to strike, and staying hidden until the perfect moment. Hitman world of assassination also appeals to action fans who appreciate the thoughtful approach. The game lets players improvise and try different tactics, pushing them to adapt when things don't go as planned. While stealth is usually the smartest way to play, Agent 47 can hold his own in a fight too. The mix of careful planning and unpredictable moments can make some moments feel like a perfectly timed action scene. Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun stands out because of its excellent puzzle design, which fits naturally into the action. The game gives players detailed situations that require thorough analysis and careful strategy. Every level takes the form of a complicated logic puzzle, forcing players to closely examine enemy patrol paths, lines of sight, and opportunities in the environment to plan a successful infiltration or take out targets. The game pushes players to experiment with each character's special abilities, leading to a chain of actions that help them overcome heavily defended areas. Rather than simple fights, the game lets players set up sequences where characters work together to remove threats before enemies notice. The game isn't perfect, but it will make you feel like you're a hero against a fortress of enemies. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain stands out as an impressive mix of complex puzzle solving and fast-paced action, making it especially appealing to players who like to think strategically in high-pressure settings. In the game, you take on the role of Big Boss, sneaking into enemy bases and completing missions using a mix of stealth and combat. Beyond that, Metal Gear Solid 5 pushes the action genre forward by letting players handle challenges however they prefer. The gameplay is flexible, allowing you to smoothly switch between careful stealth and all-out combat. It's a series we can see more of if we push aside all the bad things Konami did to Kojima. Tomb Raider 1-3 Remastered starring Lara Croft offers a unique and retro puzzle-solving experience, especially for players who enjoy challenges that involve action. The remaster maintains the steady combination of puzzles and action elements that the originals had. The levels are carefully designed, requiring players to study their surroundings, spot surfaces they can climb, and carefully time their jumps and movements. Additionally, each game in the remastered trilogy calls for close observation, smart strategy, and precise actions. Whether you're solving ancient riddles or changing the environment to open up new paths, you'll need to think carefully and creatively to get past every obstacle. Trine 5: A Clockwork Conspiracy is an outstanding puzzle platformer that keeps the series' tradition of clever and challenging obstacles alive. The game's puzzles are a major strength, requiring smart use of the three main characters' special skills. Amadeus the Wizard, Pontius the Knight, and Zoya, the Thief, need to use their abilities in creative and complicated ways to solve the increasingly tough puzzles. These aren't just simple brain teasers, they often need perfect timing and smooth execution, mixing action with mental challenges. For players who like action games with a puzzle focus, Trine 5 does a great job. Desperados 3 is a game known for its detailed and difficult puzzle solving, presented as a real-time tactical stealth experience. The game pushes players to study each new situation, examine where enemies can see, and come up with plans to take them down without alerting the rest of the foes. While Desperados 3 focuses on stealth, it's also really geared towards shooting and action. Being able to pause the game and plan a series of moves for each character, then carry them all out at once, allows for elaborate, perfectly timed attacks that feel amazing when they work. At its core, this is an action game for people who like to think. Blasting your way out of every situation is fun, but games that incorporate a bit of thought can feel more rewarding. Another game that's worth a mention if you enjoy solving a puzzle or two is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which has lessons that go beyond shooting and puzzle solving.